Ms. Tucker.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're here today for your son, 1-year-old Keandre Tucker.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, you say you're unsure whether a man you've been in a sexual relationship with or the defendant's deceased son is his biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Ms. Tucker, you're also suing Ms. Mosley for $3,800 in Social Security benefits.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Ms. Mosley, you tragically lost your son, Eric, a little over a year ago.
Yes,
I'm
Your
so
Honor.
sorry. And now you say you've barely had time to grieve, and Ms. Tucker is coming after you for money.
Yes, Your Honor.
Furthermore, you claim she's not the first woman to try to pin paternity on your son, and you have proof he did not father little Keandre.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Tucker,
Yes.
please take me back to this relationship. Why is it you are so certain that Ms. Mosley's deceased son is your child's father?
Well, from the time that me and Mr. Andrews was together, it wasn't on no relationship type. It was just that we was just messing around. When I met him, I did have a boyfriend, so, you know, I was sleeping with 2 people at the same time, but it was more frequent with Mr. Andrews. And when I met him, I remember the exact date as if it was yesterday. I met him February the 6th. It was on my best friend's birthday. I actually have a calendar that I can actually show you too as well.
Jerome, will you hand me this calendar, please?
From February 6th all the way from the 14th through the whole month, I was having sex with Mr. Andrews more frequent than I was with the person I was with. On March the 16th, I went and found out I was pregnant, 5 weeks, going on 6 weeks.
So in blue is when you discovered you're pregnant.
Yes, Your Honor.
So the 6th is when you started being intimate with Mr. Andrews.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you're saying throughout that whole month, you were intimate with him.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you counted back, and in your estimation, it was when you were sleeping with Mr. Andrews.
Yes.
But you were sleeping with the other guy as well, without using protection?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Mosley, is there any possibility, any at all, that your son could be the biological father?
Your Honor, I'm here today for answers. I tragically lost my son, my best friend. I wear him on my heart every day, everywhere I go.
I understand.
And I just come to court today for answers.
This must be very difficult. You know, you're trying to grieve, you're trying to work through life's tragedies, and then you also have to contend with this petition. It could be tough, and yet at the same time, if in fact little Keandre is your son's biological child, that would be a grandson for you as a part of your son's legacy. So please just tell me briefly, why do you have doubts?
My son never mentioned Miss Tucker. He had 4 other kids that he was very open with me about. But who is Miss Cleo Tucker? He never mentioned her.
And so it's your feeling that my son has been honest with me about so many things, including other children he's fathered. How could you not know anything about Miss Tucker?
Yes, Your Honor.
And so that confirms maybe that your son had the doubt and you have the doubt as well.
Yes, exactly.
So Miss Tucker, when you found out you were pregnant, who did you tell, or which person did you think was the father?
Well, when I first found out, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna be upfront with both of them. I went to Mr. Andrews first. I told him first, like, hey, look, I'm pregnant or whatever, so what are we gonna do? Actually, before I even went and took the pregnancy test, he was the one that made me go take it, because before, he said, hey, you're pregnant. I'm looking like, really? Like, I felt like I was being trapped, because he told me I was pregnant before I even went and took a pregnancy test.
Mr. Andrews?
Mr. Andrews.
So Miss Mosley, did he tell you anything?
Your Honor, my son told me nothing. I found out of Miss Cleo Tucker's pregnancy through his friend. His friends called me Auntie Vonda. And he said, Auntie Vonda, you know Cleo is about to give birth to Eric's child. And I was like, who is Cleo Tucker?
And that's crazy for him to say that, because even during my pregnancy, like, he used to call my mama's phone and check on me. Hey, is Cleo okay? Send me some ultrasound pictures, but I ignored him because I'm upset. And it wasn't nothing. Reason why I feel like he probably didn't go back and tell his mom about it is because it wasn't no real relationship thing. It was just like, I stepped out on my boyfriend to be with Mr. Andrews. I made a mistake. That was true. But he did check on me. He actually wanted to be a part of it, but I was so upset with him that I just shut him out completely.
Okay, so Ms. Mosley, you know, you and your son were very close. It just strikes me as strange that he would never mention this, and Ms. Tucker is saying he was calling and checking on her, and you didn't hear a thing until the best friend said that to you.
Correct,
and did you
Your
confront
Honor.
your son?
Yes, I did. First of all, he was incarcerated at the time, and we spoke every day. On this particular day that I found out, when he called, I got on him. I was like, Eric, what's going on? Are you about to have another child? And he said, Mom, she is wild. She's a stripper. She performs private parties.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. So, do you think he was in denial? Because actually, every reason you just gave doesn't preclude him from fathering a child with her.
Just as I said, he said she was wild. And
For the sake of argument, she could be wild, out there, working at the club, what have you. But if he sleeps with her without protecting himself, there is still a possibility that he can father a child with her.
Your Honor.
So, Ms. Tucker, you admitted there was one other guy, but now Mr. Andrews has told his mother that you are kind of living a lifestyle a little out there.
I mean, he can explain of how I'm living my lifestyle, but at the same time, you have to look at this. This man is with me day in, day out. Like, it was like nonstop to the point where he'll never go home. He may call, but I'm day in and day out with him. And throughout them days we was together, yeah, we was having sex. But
Well, I don't question whether you had sex. I don't question you were together, and I don't question that he was coming around. My question is, were you sleeping with more than just that other guy, your
No, it was
boyfriend?
just them two.
Just those two. So, Ms. Mosley, did your son talk to you about any of his other children?
yes, let me tell you, his first child, he was so excited. He came home, he said, Mom, I'm about to have my first child. He was at the hospital during the delivery, he cried. Then the second child came, and he talked about the baby, took pictures, and then came the third child, the first girl. He was so excited, but he was incarcerated at the time. And he called and said, Mom, you got to go and see my little girl. So I went to see the baby, and it was so amazing. She looked just like him when he was born. But again, who is Miss Cleo Tucker? Why is it that I never heard of Cleo Tucker? Why is it that I never heard of Cleo Tucker?
Why do you think this is, Ms. Tucker?
Well, honestly, we both been lied to, because the kids that she just pointed out to you, he didn't even tell me about them kids. I found out about them at the funeral. When I met Mr. Andrews, he told me, I asked him, I said, how many kids you got? He told me 1. A week later, he was like, you know what, I really like you. So he told him, I'm gonna be honest with you, I actually have 2 kids. I never knew about the little girl because me and her mom was pregnant in the same year. Our baby 6 months apart. So he wasn't being real with me or his mother.
All right. So all during your pregnancy, did anyone go to doctor's appointments with you?
No.
And
I
did
just shut everybody out. I was like, it's just me.
you shut the other guy out too? You didn't let him come to doctor's appointments? He wasn't there for the birth?
He would call just like Mr. Andrews would. I'm like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Let me come with you. Let me come to the doctor's appointments with you. Let me see your ultrasounds. I want to be a part of this too. But I was too stuck in my feelings, and I was like,
You were angry and upset and hurt. So at the birth, nobody. No one's on little Keandre's birth certificate as father.
No, Your Honor.
All right, so you have the baby, and what happens then?
After I had my baby, that's when I got in contact with Miss Mosley. We on the phone. She like, oh, nice to meet you. She heard about me through the friend that was correct, and I told her about Kendra. She said, well, Mr. Andrews just got out of jail or whatever. And I was like, okay, so let me try to contact him so he can come spend time with Keandre. Never happened. It took him 3 weeks to come see my baby. This is a newborn baby now. He was angry and frustrated with me because when he was incarcerated, I wasn't sending him no money, writing him, but at the same time, he has to understand, I'm here pregnant with a child. I have to prepare this future for me and my baby. I don't have time to be sitting here trying to take care of you when you in jail when nobody's helping me with my baby. That's why he denied my child, because I didn't help him.
So, Ms. Mosley, why do you think Ms. Tucker is bringing you to court?
For the money. She wants a check. She wants a check.
Explain.
Well, I was still mourning, and I'm looking on Instagram, finding pictures like these of my son and her son together, and I'm not even sure if he is his son.
Let me see that. Jerome, will you hand me that evidence, please?
And she's not the first one to come forth claiming that her child is my son's. There was another girl that claimed that her son was his. We had the DNA and found out he was not his. And Eric felt strongly that he wasn't. And this is the same message he gave me.
So you feel like the same thing is happening over again?
Yes.
When you see that screen, do you see a resemblance?
Honestly, I do, Your Honor. And again, that's why I'm here, for answers.
So, Ms. Tucker, I have to ask you, in fairness, did you post a split screen of your baby and the other possible father as well?
No, Your Honor, I did not.
And why did you make that choice?
Well, honestly, when Keandre started getting older, I started seeing more of Eric in him. And just like the calendar I handed to you, it made more sense to me. And I was like, this got to be this man's child. It has to be. And I just want to comment on what she said, like coming after her for money. It's just not even all about that. Like, I've been taking care of my child. Even when her son was here, he wasn't trying to help me. And for as in coming after her for money, I've been taking care of my child since the day he was born by myself. Like, I actually came up with a breakdown of how much I actually just spend on him a month just
Jerome,
because.
can I have that, please?
On Pampers, diapers, and everything, and I do this by myself, and I feel like, okay, you his mama, so can I get some type of help? He's not here no more.
So you have a breakdown of monthly expenses, baby formula, clothes, childcare, totaling $400 per month.
And that's just of half, and I think that's only fair.
And so the basis of your suit is that you would like half of that amount to be
Your Honor.
covered by Ms. Mosley.
Yes, Your Honor.
So that would be $200 a month for 19 months.
Yes, Your Honor.
And so $3,800.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Ms. Mosley, do you have any receipts? Have you participated at all with this child in terms of care?
Without proof, why would I? When a young lady comes up to me and claiming to be pregnant by my son and he's gone, the only way to prove that is through DNA. I can't take her word for it.
Absolutely.
That's true as well.
I understand that, and I think she should as well.
I understand that, but if you actually look at her son and look at my son, they have resemblance. It's there. You can't ignore it. His ears, for example, his smile, his dimples. Everybody can see that. I just feel like it's only
Ms. Tucker,
right.
do you also understand that she would just want to be sure she's already lost her son? If she then embraces this beautiful grandbaby and says it's her son's child and ultimately DNA proves that it is not, it will feel like another loss for her. So she probably is also guarding her heart in the sense that she just wants to know before she would invest financially or emotionally. Can you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
All right. I think we're ready for the results. Are you?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm ready.
Good. I think it's time. Jerome? Thank you. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Tucker v. Mosley, when it comes to 1-year-old Keandre, and whether Ms. Mosley's deceased son, Eric Andrews, is the father, it has been determined that Mr. Andrews Do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings. In the case of Tucker v. Mosley, when it comes to 1-year-old Keandre, and whether Ms. Mosley's deceased son, Eric Andrews, is the father, it has been determined that Mr. Andrews is the biological father.
I was right.
That's all I wanted to know.
You look happy.
I am. I still have a piece of him and Keandre.
Now, Ms. Tucker, as it relates to your suit for $3,800 in Social Security benefits, it's something you'll have to go back to your home state and apply through the Social Security Administration. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, but further, I am almost positive, looking at her face, that Ms. Mosley is definitely going to be there for you and make sure little Keandre has the life that she wanted her son to have, because that's his legacy, okay? Now, I have to ask you, would it be okay if Grandma saw the baby in my chambers?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'll meet you there. Ms. Hyzer, you say your ex-husband, Mr. Onbey, is a textbook deadbeat who abandoned you and your daughter almost 20 years ago. You claim Mr. Onbey has spent that time inventing outlandish excuses for denying his only daughter, but you say it all comes down to child support. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Onbey, you claim Ms. Hyzer was a prolific cheater who kept no less than 3 men in her stable at any given time. You say Ms. Hyzer's infidelities were the stuff of local legend, and there is no way you fathered her 19-year-old daughter, Gabby. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Hyzer, what do you mean by textbook deadbeat?
Exactly what it means, Your Honor. He's never been there for Gabrielle since birth.
Stole time with
Emotionally,
Rachel.
physically, financially, in every term a father should be. In the beginning, when I first met him, he seemed like a stand-up guy, a family man. Within the first year, we decided to get married. I had found out I was pregnant and told him. He was happy at first, told his friends and family. Within a few months, it started to deteriorate.
So, Mr. Onbey, you don't believe Gabby is your biological daughter?
No, ma'am.
Tell the court why.
Another man had walked up on me and asked me what we were going to do about his child.
Referring to Gabby?
Yes, ma'am.
So a man walks up to you on the street and just says, I'm the father of your wife's baby.
Basically.
Did you ever ask your wife about this?
She basically blew me off.
Ms. Hyzer, do you remember this conversation?
It's the biggest lie I've ever heard, Your Honor.
So it didn't happen?
He knows that I have been faithful to him.
Wow.
It's just
Wow.
another reason and all the more to try to deny Gabby and smear my name. Gabrielle is his daughter.
So
He
you
likes
don't
her.
believe the guy ever came up to him and said anything?
I don't believe that ever happened.
Do you remember the day he came up to you and said, hey, this guy's on the street talking about what are we gonna do about this
I've
baby?
never heard of this at all, Your Honor, before today.
She keeps at least 3 men around.
You're the waste of time.
So, Ms.
find out
Hyzer,
soon.
at this point, he tells you, some man told me you're pregnant. He says you blew him off, but you don't remember the conversation at all.
The conversation never happened, Your
So
Honor.
when you found out you were pregnant with Gabby, what did you do? You just told your husband, I'm pregnant.
A pregnancy test was done. We had talked about it. I told him, and he was happy.
He was happy.
He didn't believe, even at the time, that he could have children himself. He always thought that he couldn't.
So this felt like a miracle.
I was 19. How could I believe I wasn't having children?
Well,
What the-
apparently not grown up enough, because you like your fiddle tails, don't you?
Yeah, okay, Miss 3 men.
Grow up, David.
All right. So you tell him you're pregnant and he's happy. Did he express any doubt at the time?
He didn't express any doubt until about 3-4 months down the line when we had our first argument. We didn't speak for a couple of months. Then he came back again, another argument, takes off again. That was his style. David don't face anything head on, including parenthood. He runs.
I'll face anything I need to if it's mine.
Okay, David, that's what we're here today for.
Proof's in the pudding.
So,
She got it.
Mr. Onbey, you're saying that what Ms. Hyzer said is not true.
Exactly, ma'am.
So, Ms. Hyzer, at some point you have the baby. Is he there with you?
He wasn't there with me through most of the pregnancy.
What about when
friend
Gabby
of a
was
friend
born?
notified him the day that I had went into labor. He showed up halfway through the birth, drunk and full of grease. He stayed for 2 hours and left, and I didn't see him again for 2 more weeks until he showed up on my doorstep needing a place to stay and wanted to play daddy.
So, Mr. Onbey, did you go back home after you came and saw
No,
Gabby
ma'am.
in the hospital?
No, ma'am.
What happened?
I was notified that she was in labor. I was drinking. Yeah, I shot down there and I watched her born. I wasn't signing the birth certificate because I already knew once you signed the birth certificate, you are the father, and I had doubts of me being the father due to the conversation me and this other guy had.
So you didn't sign the birth
No, ma'am.
certificate?
You're
but
a
you were-
liar. Yes, you did.
But you were married
Show
at the
me
time.
then. You can't.
They have a copy of the birth certificate,
Where's it
David.
at? Where's it at? Show me.
Well, the court does have a copy of the
But
birth
you don't have my
certificate,
signature on it.
But your name is on it,
But not by a signature, Your Honor.
but you didn't sign it. But you have to understand, your name is clearly listed, Mr. Onbey, because you were married to Ms. Hyzer at the time. So under the law, you are the father. At that point, you disappear, and you admit that, you leave the hospital, you don't come back.
Exactly.
She says you come back to the house 2 weeks later. Did you come back to the house?
ma'am.
You never came back to play daddy?
No, ma'am.
So when's the next time after this you see Miss Hyzer or Gabby?
Tell you the truth, I really don't know.
Well, come on, now you're full of stories. Think of something good.
Gabby, I want to hear from you now, because this right here, this back and forth between them, it's not productive.
No.
I want to hear from you. What are your memories of the man you were told is your biological father?
He was never really been in my life. My 5-year-old birthday party, he showed up to it for about 10 minutes and he left, told me he was going for a toy and didn't show back up with this toy and didn't see him for years later, so.
So he came to your 5th birthday for 10 minutes and told you, I'm gonna go get a toy, and never came back.
Never came back, never
For
messaged
years?
me, never talked to me for years. I didn't see him for years.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Mr. Onbey, did you leave the birthday party saying you were getting a toy and never came back?
I did not tell anybody I was going to get a toy. She got a baby doll that day.
So you brought a toy with you?
Yes, ma'am.
But if you didn't think she was your daughter, why even do that?
There were, at this point in time, there were doubts. And that's what I'm here. I'm here today for closure.
So Gabby, tell me, what was life like? Not having your father, being told you know who he is, but he just doesn't come around.
I think about how he could have been the one being there.
It's all right, honey. It's okay to say how you feel. What do you feel?
I don't know. I have a lot of resentment towards him because he could have been there. He could have been the one to take me to my daddy-daughter dance or be there for my kindergarten graduation or be there for my prom or
Talk to him. Let him know how that felt.
or to know that you're taking care of so many other kids, but you can't even take care of your one and only kid, like your one and only daughter, man. Or to sit here and hook up with a family member and play daddy to another family member, but can't take care of.
Okay, Mr. Onbey, I really can't understand why you would be this cruel, why you have this much doubt. If this was your wife, what happened?
Can I show you, Your Honor?
Is this a piece of evidence you
Yes,
brought?
yes, Your
Please
Honor.
step over to the exhibit.
I had been laying block at the time. I was at work. This family member told me that he had reason to believe that she may be cheating on me because I would go to work and maybe an hour later, this truck would pull up, okay? And he would leave probably 30 minutes to an hour before I got home. One day I got off work early, okay? I went to my family member's house, which is here. He told me what was going on, so I immediately shot out the back door, cut across the neighbors, and came over to the house, to the front door, in which was open. So I opened the door. The bedroom is maybe 40 feet from the front door. I heard them loud and clear. There was no doubt in my mind what they were doing. At this point,
This is your wife.
yes,
You say it was clear what they were doing.
they were having sex. It was very loud. You could hear it clearly as day. I grabbed a 6-pack of beer out of the fridge, which was mine. I hit the front door and I never looked back.
So you saying you caught your wife having sex with someone else, walked in on it, but you didn't confront her.
No, ma'am.
You just grabbed a 6-pack of beer and left and never looked back.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Hyzer, did that happen?
That is another lie, Your Honor. The lies just keep getting on bigger and bigger.
Okay.
I
I'll show you
mean-
some lies right here in a minute.
But also for a man that believes it's not your daughter, why would you show up to the birth? Why did you show up even the one time for her birthday and leave?
Maybe I want to see if
I
she
mean,
looked
is this daughter by convenience or just, you know?
Why did you show up? Tell us.
Because I don't know for surely that she's not mine.
You don't know if she is, but you also don't know if she isn't.
Exactly. I have snapshots off Facebook where Gabrielle was telling this other man that he was the father and that she knew he was her daddy.
So, Mr. Onbey, you're saying you saw this on Facebook?
Yes, ma'am.
And this is a post from Gabby that says, "My daddy."
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recognize that post?
I don't. I recognize the picture. I remember the picture.
Who is this man? And you're saying it's my daddy.
A family friend.
Yeah, he sure is.
So this is a family friend, and you've taken a picture and you call him your daddy?
I don't remember posting that, but obviously I did.
I don't remember the wording myself. I remember the picture,
Yeah.
but not the additional wording to it, quoting her dad.
But well, it's there. So I mean, what was your intention at the time? Were you told that this could potentially be your dad?
Around this time, yes, I was told like plenty of times that he was
And who told you this?
the woman he was sleeping with. A family member.
She tried to play stout into her mind.
Right.
Oh, so the family member you were with started to tell you this
Him
isn't
and me that
Mr. Onbey isn't your dad. This other family friend is.
Right. Yes, Your Honor.
So when this family friend came by, you believed it? You saw him and you believed it?
It's not that I believed it. He started coming around more than he ever did, just to see me, just to see my mom too. I personally, I don't remember posting about him being my dad, but it's definitely been put into my head for years that he was.
It's been put in your head for years that he is.
Right.
By just this one person or confirmed by other people?
Just her, yes.
Just the one person.
Yes.
She would say consistently, you know, this is your
Yes.
dad.
And was playing backstories on why. She thought that he was.
Okay. Now, is this a man you've been intimate with, Ms. Hyzer?
No, I've never been intimate with him, Your Honor.
That's the biggest lie in the courtroom.
No, I haven't.
That's the biggest lie in the courtroom.
Well, gosh, you've been telling lots, so I might as well join in, huh?
Come on in. Jump in the water. It's fine.
You two, my goodness. So you believe she was also sleeping with this man? You think that's
That's
true?
him. That's who she was sleeping with when I left the house.
Oh, that's who was in the
That's
house.
him. That is him.
That's the man you heard in the bedroom.
Yes, ma'am. That is him.
He's lying, Your Honor.
Boy,
It's not funny, man.
you're
I mean, if you're
getting
getting your thrills
yeah.
by the lies so you feel better by
Okay.
tearing your kid apart, I
Yeah.
mean, run with it.
Okay.
Gabby, what are you feeling right now? It's upsetting you that
I don't even know what to say. Like,
This all boils down, Your Honor. He doesn't want to pay child support. He owes me over
No, I'm asking
$90,000.
Child support for 19
That's what this
years.
is all about. Of course
I'm
he's gonna come
asking
say the
Gabby
great
what
story
she
he told.
Where? Because I'd like to see
I
the
paid
money.
20-something thousand in child support last summer. Come on with it.
Listen, what I'm concerned about at this very moment that everybody just seems to want to skip over, but we've had a moment in this courtroom for me that really was a light bulb that went on. Because consistently, you've not only been told, Gabby, that Mr. Onbey is your biological father, another family member has consistently told you that the man in this picture is your biological father. So much so, you take this picture with him and you post and you put my daddy. There's real doubt in this story. There's real mystery here. And it's truly affected you for 19 years. How do you entertain all this as a young girl? When your family member is telling you someone else is your father, I don't blame you for putting my daddy up there. You don't know. This is confusing. I think it's time for the results. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics and they read as follows. In the case of Hyzer versus Onbey, when it comes to 19-year-old Gabrielle Onbey, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Onbey, you are the father. I can see you truly shocked.
Yes, ma'am.
This has been going on for 19 years. Do you have something you'd like to say to your daughter?
You have no idea what I've been through with that woman.
Okay, and you have no idea what I've been through as 19 not having you there.
You always have to find someone to blame. Even now, you can't be a man and stand up.
Listen. You two have to stop this.